Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Live at 4 on this wintry Wednesday.
Yeah, it has been a big day so far. We had a lot of rain started, hail for some areas, and it keeps on coming.
That's right. We're leading with the weather today. Alex has been tracking alert day conditions since last Friday, and here he is with the latest on the forecast. Hi, Alex.
Hey there, Susan. Yeah, that potpourri of all weather forms we talked about yesterday have verified today. The hail, heavy rain, thunderstorms, lightning, and now we're tracking that rain changing over to heavy wet snow that stretches from a line. I'm going to zoom in here on radar 3000. Our community is out towards Prairie du Chien, towards Boscobel, heading up to Richland Center, heading up to the Loganville area. We have folks from our team heading up to the Sauk City area. It's not too far away, likely a mix up towards the Dells. Zooming on out here, here's the reason why we're seeing those rain changing over to snow. We've got temperatures mid-30s in Madison, 37 in Janesville, but 32 in the Dells and 32 in Viroqua. Even 34, even though it's above freezing, higher up in the sky, temperatures are colder, and that's why we're seeing that rain change over to snow. Zooming on here into Dane County, it's also not pretty. We have that small hail that's been reported across much of southern Wisconsin. Even some of these heavier showers out towards Cottage Grove, Sun Prairie, Waunakee, east of the downtown area could be producing some small hail as well. We're going to take a just quick peek here at planning the rest of your evening. That rain quickly changing over to snow in the Madison area by 6 o'clock as you see the temperatures stay steady right around the low to mid 30s. A little bit later in Maine weather, we're going to use Future Track. I'm going to show you when that snow is going to peak, when it's going to end, and how much you can expect tonight. That's in a bit.
Thank you, Alex. And our Maddie Heimsch is giving us a live look at road conditions. Maddie, where are you and what are you seeing out there?
Hey guys, we are in Sauk City per Alex's directive. He said to start a little bit north of Madison. Up here in Sauk City, that's where we would see the most action. And then throughout the night, we're going to be coming down Highway 12 more towards the Madison area. So I'm going to let you see what I see. We are at a red light right here in Sauk City, about to get back on the highway. You can't, oh, there you go. You can see it a little bit. We're seeing a bit of a wintry mix. It looks like rain, but it is bouncing off the hood of the car. So we know it's a little bit of hail here. So that's what we can see. And again, we're going to get back on the highway and see how visibility is over there. We've really seen it go in and out. We've been driving for about the past half hour. We saw a little bit of rain, then it seemed like nothing was coming down, then a little bit of hail, then nothing. So really seeing these pockets of different weather. But again, we are going to stay out on the road, and we'll come back to you a couple different times within Live at 4. Keep giving you those updates from the road, and then throughout the rest of our newscasts at 5, 6, and 10 later tonight. So I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, we appreciate it, Maddie. You and Gabe stay safe out there. We'll check back with you in just a little while. In other news and new at 4, the Federal Reserve is once again holding interest rates steady. Analysts say the decision shows central bankers are waiting to see how the Trump administration's policy changes will affect the U.S. economy. Those adjustments include heavy tariffs, mass deportations, and downsizing the federal workforce. Many economists have predicted there will be at least one rate cut before the end of the year. In January, the Fed said it expects to have 2 rate cuts this year.
A man listed as a custodian at a school in Middleton Cross Plains District is charged with sexually assaulting a child. 40-year-old James Myers of Mount Horeb had his initial appearance in court today for felony repeated sexual assault of the same child. He's out on a signature bond with the promise he won't contact the child he allegedly assaulted. The school district's website lists Myers as a custodian for Cromrie Middle School in Middleton. We've contacted Cromrie and the school district about whether Myers still works there, and we have not heard back yet. His next court date is on April 28th.
Under President Trump, the U.S. State Department froze funds in February for international education programs.
And that includes the Fulbright Scholarship, which allows scholars to conduct research overseas. Merrill Hubbard introduces us to a researcher who was bound for Buenos Aires.
For one UW-Madison researcher, the freeze put more than a year's worth of planning down the drain.
That was really a head-spinning moment.
Richard Lindroff is a professor emeritus for UW-Madison. He researches how climate change impacts the chemistry of plants and their nutritional value in the foods we eat. He was set to spend most of March in Buenos Aires to conduct further research under his Fulbright Award.
Then literally 4 days before departure, I got an email from the Fulbright Association saying, We're sorry to inform you that due to a change in national priorities, your project has been canceled.
The project was titled Integrating Chemical Ecology and Climate Change Research. Lindroff suspects it was canceled because of the term climate change. Lindroff tells me that he has no hope that his Fulbright will be put back on the calendar because it was canceled and not paused.
Meryl, thank you. We're learning more about why a leader of UW-Madison's diversity division left his role. LeVar Charleston left the job in January. At the time, the university said Charleston's division was under review regarding concerns about financial operations. A week ago, the Vice Chancellor for Finance and Administration wrote to Chancellor Jennifer Mnuchin with the findings. We have that document which shows that Charleston gave bonuses to the majority of his staff at the end of 2023, and he did so without consulting anyone. That amounted to more than $200,000. The review also found Charleston spent more on travel and supplies in 2023 and last year than the division did pre-pandemic. The total for travel during those 2 fiscal years was more than $4 million. The review noted several issues with systems meant to prevent the misuse of funds and outlined steps that UW-Madison is taking to address the lack of oversight. The UW system is urging UW-Madison to hire an outside firm to work on additional steps to safeguard finances.
And we have a statement from UW on the review's findings. It reads in part, the review confirmed poor financial judgment and lack of accountability. As a result, on January 22nd, Dr. Charleston was removed from his role. An external examination of management controls is to begin soon.
Now to our coverage of March Madness from Denver.
Get those brackets out, everyone. We have a crew live in Denver ahead of the Badgers game tomorrow. Our sports director, Zach Hanley, and reporter Armand Rahman join us now. Let's start with Zach. What's up, Zach?
Hey guys, so the cool thing about the NCAA tournament is that in the first round, you play teams that you don't really know a lot about. Wisconsin and Montana have met just 3 times before, with the Badgers winning all 3, so this is their 4th. But Max Klesmit is pretty familiar with one guy on the Grizzlies. You see, Max roomed with Austin Patterson when they were teammates at Wofford a couple years ago. Fast forward to now, new teams, same friendship, but this time they're opponents in the big dance. It's a cool opportunity for both guys in their last year of college basketball, and it's one they told me is a full circle moment.
Cool to see that someone you started your college career with, you're facing against in the first round of March Madness, the tournament everyone wants to be in. So it's super cool, and it's a cool story.
Full circle is literally the perfect way to explain it. Just starting out our college careers together at the same time, and like I said, becoming really good friends, and kind of getting to finish our college careers off, ending and playing each other. I think it's a really cool, way how that all kind of works out.
Now, Max did say that after the selection Sunday, after the show where he found out they were playing Montana, he did FaceTime Austin to talk a little trash, but both guys said over and over again they are looking forward to playing against each other. For now, live at Ball Arena, Zach Hanley, News 3 Sports.
It was a pretty long drive out there, Zach. Glad to see you guys made it. That looks like a really cool venue, doesn't it?
Yeah, party time out there.
Yeah, we'll check back with you in a little while, Zach. Thank you so much, and we'll hear from Armand live from Denver a little later today on Live at 4.
And you can watch the Badger game tomorrow at 12:30 on TNT. If the Badgers beat Montana, they'll play against whoever wins the game between VCU and BYU on Saturday.
We'll also be airing games right here on CBS.
How about that? On Thursday morning at 11:15, Creighton takes on Louisville. At 1:50, Auburn plays the winner of today's matchup between St. Francis and Alabama State. At 6:10, Arkansas faces off with Kansas. Then at 8:45, it's St. John's against Omaha. Friday morning, it's Baylor versus Mississippi State at 11:15. At 1:50, Duke plays the winner of the first-round matchup between Mount St. Mary's and American. Troy takes on Kentucky at 6:10. Then at 8:45, the winner of Xavier and Texas on Wednesday will play Illinois in Milwaukee. I wonder if everyone's going to work this week.
Exactly.
Or if some mysterious illnesses have
the
popped up.
productivity goes down. The madness is almost here. Next on Live at 4, the result of President Trump's phone call with the leader of Ukraine.
We check in on how the weather is affecting travel as Alex continues to track alert day conditions.
Welcome back. The Justice Department has one more day to give more information about deportations the Trump administration carried out last weekend. It comes a day after the Supreme Court's Chief Justice issued a rare statement rebuking the administration's apparent defiance of a judge's order. The president shrugged off that criticism, and today his press secretary said the president thinks the federal judge on the case should be impeached.
While speaking with President Trump today, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky agreed to a 30-day ceasefire with Russia focused on energy and other civilian infrastructure. It comes on the heels of a phone call between President Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin, after which the Kremlin said it would temporarily halt attacks on Ukraine's energy and infrastructure targets. But to agree on a broader ceasefire, the Kremlin wants the U.S. to end military aid and intelligence to Ukraine.
Israeli troops are on the ground in Gaza. It's the IDF's latest advancement of the war after breaking its ceasefire with Hamas earlier this week. Israel announced it would conduct a limited ground operation in northern Gaza. The country's defense minister warned the army plans to step up attacks, quote, with an intensity that you have not seen. The military launched airstrikes early Monday, killing hundreds of people in Gaza. It marked one of the deadliest days of the war, which has killed more than 48,000 Palestinians.
And back to our local weather coverage. There we are on a live drive. Maddie Heimsch is out there taking a look at conditions out on the road. Meanwhile, our chief meteorologist, Alex Harrington, has been tracking those conditions all day. Maddie, what are you seeing out there? Oh, let's go to Alex, actually.
Sure, you can come to me for starters here. Let's get right to radar 3000. We'll take a wider look out here because I'm keeping an eye on this. We've got a big line of thunderstorms stretching from central Illinois right up to the Wisconsin-Illinois border. And sometimes when you get a line of thunderstorms like this, it can cut off moisture further to the north and towards the west, meaning that we may be looking at maybe less in the way of snowfall, but we're going to watch radar 3000 very closely. Zooming on in here to southern Wisconsin, far southeast part of our area, out towards Whitewater, east of Edgerton, over towards Elkhorn, heavy rain, possibly some small hail. There you just saw a little bit of a lightning flash. Here in Dane County, for the most part dry, except in the southwest part of the county over on 151 over towards Mount Horeb, and then on 151 off towards the north and towards the east towards Sun Prairie. Here's the far northern edge of that line of thunderstorms that's progressing over parts of Illinois, stretching from Monroe east over towards the Janesville and Orfordville area. As that continues to press off towards the north and towards the east, Janesville, you're probably going to have some thunderstorms here over the course of the next hour. And then we're keeping a close eye on that rain changing over to snow, filling in maybe just a little bit here over southwest Wisconsin. We got Maddie and Sauk City right on that dividing line between rain, sleet going over to snow. Let's use Future Track here, showing that rain, Madison and areas south and east seems to be spot on. North and west, that mix, and then over to snow as we progress through the evening, changing to snow by the time we get to 6, 7 o'clock in Madison. All snow to the north and west up towards Camp Douglas. Snowing across southern Wisconsin still at 10 o'clock with strong north winds as we head towards 2 o'clock in the morning. Back edge of that snow reaching the Richland Center area to Camp Douglas. Still snowing in Madison, still light snow in Janesville, and that's all out of here by the time we get to 6 o'clock in the morning. Overall amounts looking at 1, 2, maybe isolated 3 to 4 inch amounts, and the higher amounts possibly in excess of 5 inches of that slushy snow is going to be up towards Juneau, Adams, Marquette, and Green Lake counties. It's areas north of Madison that stand the best chance for the heavier snow totals out there. But it doesn't matter if it's 1, 3, or 4 inches of snow. When you've got winds gusting at times approaching 45 to 50 miles per hour, we are looking at reduced visibilities tonight, and we are looking at some slick travel. Still can't rule out an isolated storm this evening, producing some small hail. I don't think we're going to see severe weather in southern Wisconsin, but we'll keep an eye on that line coming up out of Illinois. Speaking of hail, the John Karcher, can't quite see the last name here, sending us this video here of small hail in the Verona area. If you got your phone, just scan that QR code right up here in the upper left. We want to see your weather photos. Maybe you want to send us some of the weather photos of that rain changing over to snow. We can pass that information along to the National Weather Service to let them know where that progression of that rain to snow is. Planning our evening, mid-30s, then low 30s. Rain turning over to snow in Madison right around 6 o'clock as we go a little bit later into the evening. All snow as we go towards the midnight hour, and eventually that snow will taper off as we get into the early morning hours of Thursday. Thursday, we'll see breezy conditions early. High temperatures a little bit cool in the upper 30s, but we'll melt some of that snow. A little bit more rain Friday night going on into the very beginning of Saturday. Better chances for rain Sunday going into Monday. This could actually turn into a little bit of wet snow Sunday night into Monday with some slushy snow accumulations, with the next chance of rain way out here at the end of our 10-day period Friday going on into Saturday. Next weather, we'll take another fresh look at radar 3000 to show you again where that rain is changing over to that wet snow.
That hail was something today here on the west side. I haven't been out to the parking lot yet. I hope I still have a windshield.
Yeah.
It really came down. Thanks, John Karcher, for sending that picture. It's always good to hear from John. Alex, thank you.
You're welcome.
The weather started early today, and it shook some people on the west side. Several people are temporarily without a home after lightning hit their apartment building. This happened about 8:30 this morning on Modern Point Lane. Firefighters arrived to find flames on the roof and at least 3 areas with damage. Several people were home at the time of the lightning strike, and one person was trapped in an elevator that shut down. Luckily, everyone is okay. Madison Fire says property managers are working with the people affected to find alternate housing until repairs can be done and power is restored.
Well, coming up on Live at 4, our Spirit of Service campaign continues.
Josh Spreiter introduces us to the 3rd candidate for the award when we come back.
In the 608, we're meeting the finalists for the Spirit of Service all this week.
Our partners at Vortex narrowed the 206 veteran nominations down to 5. I don't envy them that task.
Tough choices.
And our Josh Spreiter caught up with one of them on News 3 Now this morning.
Michael, thanks for joining us on News 3 Now. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Josh.
This has to feel pretty amazing to be named a finalist for Spirit of Service.
Oh, it's absolutely incredible. I mean, when my buddies told me that they nominated me, I was like, all right, cool. Like, this is awesome. I didn't expect to hear anything back. And when I got the email, I was blown away. I had to tell my friends, call everybody, and it's incredible.
Well, hey, it's a great honor, and we thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Talk about where you all started and kind of where you got to where you are right now.
Well, growing up, I've always part of, community service is always a big part of, who I was ever since I was young, 12 years old, joining Civil Air Patrol, being involved in my community that way. And then I enlisted in the Marine Corps when I was 17 years old, went to boot camp in 2016. And after I got out of the Marines, just before COVID hit in 2020, I still had that calling for service. And once I finally got my real estate license and started working, being on the team that I am, it gave me the platform to be able to do, more in the community, whether it's for veterans, foster and adopted kids, or really anything going on in the community. It gave me that platform to be able to do that.
So why? Why do you continue to give back all these years later?
A big part, I'd always say is we're all kind of in this together. We're all trying to live our lives. And if there's anything I can do to help anybody to make their life a little bit better, to make them, get through life a little bit easier, I'm all for it. Like I said, we're all in this together. We got to be kind to one another. And if I can show a little bit of kindness to somebody by helping them out, let's do it.
One of the unique stories or things that I saw in your story was the 30 days for 30 vets. Let's talk about that.
Absolutely. That was an initiative that kind of started at my job with the Bremer team, Keller Williams Success, where one of our local partners met with us and brought up to my team leader and said, hey, I want to give away a roof to a free roof to a veteran. My team leader came up to me and we're like, hey, let's blow this up. So we sat in our office and we dialed for dollars, as we call it, for about an hour and a half. And we raised about $250,000 in committed donations for veterans. So back in November of 2024, we started to notify the 30 veterans that they had won. So veterans won roofs, siding repair, ACs, furnaces. And then along with that, another one of our business partners locally made a wooden flag for all of the veterans with a green stripe, a thin green line. And presenting that to all the veterans was one of the most meaningful experiences of my life, because handing them this wooden flag, they didn't care that they just got a roof or an AC. I mean, they did. But seeing them tear up, get choked up for a wooden flag, that's what this is all about. That's, this is why they joined, to for America, for that flag and things like that. And that to me is what, I hold dear to my heart.
What a special moment. All right, we got about 20 seconds. What would you plan to do if you were to win the $5,000?
I'm not going to lie. I got a couple bills I got to pay off, catch up on. But, I want to put some of that money back into 30 days for 30 vets, because if I can use that money to help one veteran, great. If I can use it to help 2 or 3, even better.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Congratulations. And thanks for your service, Michael. We appreciate it. Guys, we'll send it over to you.
Another great candidate. Thanks, Josh.
Yep.
And we have 2 more candidates to meet.
That's right. Over the next 2 days, you can vote for your favorite veteran through March 30th, and a winner will be announced on April 2nd.
Oh, goodness. Again, I don't envy the people who have to make these choices. Well, on News 3 now, Lisa Briggs will join us to answer your plant questions. You can submit them at tips@channel3000.com. And coming up on Live at 4 tomorrow, the Badgers tip off their 28th trip to the Big Dance.
Fans traveled from near and far to watch the game in person, and that includes our Armand Rahman, who drove all the way to Denver. He'll join us live from the Big Dance when we come back.
We are tracking alert day conditions. There's some of that hail that everyone's been talking about today.
It's been a little bit of everything. Slushy snow, hail, wind, rain, a snowy, windy night. Hope you didn't pack your turtlenecks away just yet. Winter's hanging on, at least for today. And Alex is here with an update on the forecast. When will this all be moving out, Alex?
It'll all be moving out by probably the early morning hours of Thursday. By the time we get to the rush hour on Thursday, that snow will be clear out of here. What we're doing is we're tracking that line of rain changing over to snow. Here is our First One weather cam, part of our network in the Dodgeville area, our Upland Hills sky cam. If you look closely enough, I've been watching this camera, it's moving about because it's very windy, but we have transitioned over to some big wet snowflakes here in the center part of Iowa County, and we can verify that too as we take a look at radar 3000 in Iowa County. Take note here, Dodgeville, right on that line here along Highway 151 of rain mixing with just a little bit of wet snow just to the west over towards Highland and the Mifflin and the Mineral Point area. So right on that division line, right along US Highway 151 is where we're seeing that rain transition over to snow. Snow is heavier to the north up towards Juneau, Adams, Marquette, Green Lake counties, over towards Vernon County as well, where we're having some reports from emergency management that there's some slide-offs of cars going off the road into the ditch. This is where the heavier snow totals are likely going to line up, is north of Madison. We have some folks on our social media commenting it's not snowing here, or we're not expecting as much snow in certain areas. This is a convective type snow event, and what I mean by convective is that you have showers and thunderstorms, and just like any thunderstorm, you may have very heavy rain in one area and you go a couple miles down the road and they don't get quite as much. So with a convective nature, a thunderstorm type nature to the snow event that we will see tonight, there will be stark differences from community to community in overall amounts of snow that you get. We're thinking slushy 2 to 5 inches overall in southern Wisconsin, but the heavier amounts are likely going to be to the north up towards Juneau, Adams, Marquette, and Green Lake County. And when I come back, we'll use Future Track to show you again, to answer Susan's question, when will snow peak and when will it end in southern Wisconsin in a few minutes.
All right, Alex, thank you. Let's see what it looks like on the road right now. There's Maddie Heimsch. She's checking out the roads with us with photojournalist Gabe driving around. How does it look, Maddie? Where are you guys now?
Hey, Susan and Brady, we are coming back down on Highway 12 from Sauk City, where we started just at the top of the show about a half an hour ago. We're now in the Springfield-Ashton area. I'm going to let you take another look at the road. So Alex was saying that the heavier snow is up a little bit towards the north, Juneau, Adams County. We might have to start going back up north because we are kind of, it seems, traveling away from that heavy rainfall, snowfall. There was some hail just a little bit ago, but now we're barely seeing rain, just a little bit of drizzle there on our windshield. Everyone certainly has their lights on the road, those bright lights, and the windshield wipers are moving, so it's not that there isn't any precipitation, but we're not seeing that snow anymore as we head back down towards the Middleton area. So that is where we are right now. We'll keep checking in with you throughout the rest of the show. For now, I'll send it back to you guys.
Thank you, Maddie. And you can track the forecast for yourself on the First Warn Weather app. It's like your own mobile Alex Harrington, glasses not included. It has hourly planners, road conditions, and radar. You can download it for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC Weather.
Well, speaking of driving, our crew is in Denver covering the Badgers after a long road trip there yesterday.
They made it. Armand Rahman shows us other fans who made the trek west. Hey, Armand.
Hey guys, yeah, we did make it. We are fresh off of a long 13-hour drive, as you guys said. And we seem to bring that Wisconsin weather with us here because the tail end of that drive, we drove through a bit of a blizzard coming into Colorado there, but we made it all right. And while it took me a little bit today, I finally did find a few Scotties whose passion made them as crazy as we were. Paul and Marla Schaefer drove over from Rhinelander a day before we did, so they miss all of that nasty winter weather. They're used to following the team around, so no distance, they said, is too far for them to root on their Badger men. And today, they say getting to see practice allowed them to meet up with the other Badger fans who brought the red here to Colorado to give the team an extra boost ahead of tomorrow's game.
The drive is very long, but we chose to drive as we're heading southwest after this, and we adjusted our route to include this game in our itinerary.
Well, it's a chance to kind of see behind the scenes what happens during the basketball season that typically you don't get to see in practice.
And there were quite a few of those Denver Bucky fans here today, young and old. They tell me it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see the Badgers in their backyard. We'll hear more from them tonight at 5, and hopefully no snow or crazy winter weather will meet us when we go outside here today. But for now, reporting in Denver, Colorado, Armand Rahman, News 3 Now.
Have fun, Armand. Great to see you. Thank you so much. And you can watch the Badger game tomorrow, 12:30 on TNT. Now, if the Badgers beat Montana, they'll play against whoever wins the game between VCU and BYU on Saturday. The Madison Metropolitan School District periodically checks in to make sure that each school in the district has enough staff, and they're now going through that process for the next school year.
Ellie LaLiberte shows us why it's making some parents upset.
Lapham Elementary is one of the schools in MMSD that will see staffing changes next year. But for some parents, the change comes at too high a cost.
Lapham Elementary is losing a second grade teacher for the allocations. That means the remaining 2 teachers will have class sizes of 27. That number is within district recommendations, but one parent says it shouldn't be.
It's terribly, terribly hard for these children to focus and become engaged in the classroom curriculum without the support they need. 27 kids on one teacher is not the right ratio in any way, shape, or form. They need support.
For the district as a whole, MMSD is expecting to increase more than 8 full-time staff for next school year. But it will also shift employees around to different schools. There will be a reduction in 11 staff from high schools, 3 at elementary schools, and 20 added to middle schools. No staff will be fired as a result of the allocations.
So as you can see, while one level might be going down, another level is going out. And a lot of that is due to the kind of shifts and changes that happen in enrollment and a really growing city at certain areas.
Reporting in Madison, Ellie LaLiberte, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Ellie. To determine allocations, the district looks at projected enrollment, class sizes, and costs. A spokesperson for the district says at this time it is not sharing specifics for which school will gain or lose staff.
Let's take a look at the numbers on Wall Street after an up and down week. Wall Street got a boost today. The Dow gained 383 points. The Nasdaq was up 247 and the S&P 500 was up 61.
The conservative-backed candidate for Wisconsin Supreme Court is resurfacing false claims about voter fraud. In an interview this week with WISN-AM, Brad Schimmel said his voters need to turn out in huge numbers to make the race what he calls too big to rig with bags of ballots from Milwaukee. Schimmel alleged that happened in November when Republican Senate candidate Eric Hovde lost to Senator Tammy Baldwin. There is no evidence the 2024 election was rigged. In Milwaukee, all absentee ballots get counted together, leading to an influx of votes.
Tonight, the candidate for state superintendent will participate in a virtual forum from 7 to 8. Incumbent Dr. Jill Underly and her challenger Brittany Kinzer will share their visions for leading the Department of Public Instruction. Registration for the event is full, but you can watch it, stream it live on WISC-TV.
And coming up on Live at 4, send us your plant questions.
Tomorrow's the first day of spring, even though you can't tell right now. Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company is here, and she'll answer your questions when we come back.
Rain is changing to snow across much of southern Wisconsin right now. We still have some thunderstorms as well, but let's show you this overall snowfall projections. This is from now going through about 6 o'clock on Thursday morning. Widespread 1 to 5 inches. It's quite the range, as you might be wondering. Why is there such a range? Well, this is a very convective thunder-like event, and just like any thunderstorm, some areas get a lot, and then you go down the road and some areas get very little, and that there'll be sharp cutoffs in snowfall totals, but overall 1 to 5 inches of slushy accumulation, with the greatest amounts of accumulation up towards Juneau, Adams, Marquette, and Green Lake counties, where we're getting photos submitted to us already of that snow piling on up. And that snow doesn't matter if it's 1 inch or if it's 2, 3, 4, or 5, it's going to be causing some travel difficulties tonight because we will have winds upwards of 45 miles per hour. That's going to blow that snow around a bit and certainly reduce visibilities. Right now here in Dodgeville, there it is. There's the snow right now. Big snowflakes falling here on our Upland Hills sky cam to verify that it is changing over as we speak right now. Radar 3000 showing Dodgeville here at that division line between rain, a mix of rain and snow, and that's going to continue to progress towards the south and towards the east. Again, the more persistent snow to the north up towards Viroqua, up towards Camp Douglas, and east over towards Marquette County. And we even have some thunderstorms just east of Janesville right now. Some of those thunderstorms could still produce some of that small hail that we're seeing. Let's use Future Track here, bringing that snow line into Madison as we head towards 6, 7 o'clock. Consistent areas of snow as we head towards 8, 9, 10 o'clock, and still snowing across a good portion of southern Wisconsin, especially from Madison and areas north and to the north and east as we progress towards the 10 o'clock news hour. You're going to want to stick around for our 5 o'clock newscast. We'll show you how strong those winds are going to be overnight tonight, and then I'll let you know when those winds will ease on up as well. That's coming up at 5.
And we are taking one final look at the roads before we end Live at 4. Maddie Heimsch is out there. She and our photojournalist Gabe are driving up towards Sauk City again.
Yep, doesn't look too bad right now, just a little wet, but that rain is going to be turning to snow, Alex says. And he said it could be snowing in the Sauk City area pretty soon, now. So take good care, everyone, if you're heading out on the roads tonight, because we'll be dealing with these slippery conditions for several more hours. And Alex will have the complete update on the forecast when you join us momentarily for News 3 Now at 5. We'll be right back. Here's what's coming up tomorrow on Live at 4. The Spirit of Service campaign continues. Our Josh Spreiter will introduce us to our 4th candidate. And coming up later tonight on News 3 Now at 6, scammers are targeting Google Maps, how the company is responding and how it could affect you. Thanks for watching Live at 4 today, everybody. We hope to see you right back here tomorrow. News 3 Now at 5 starts right after this.